And hello, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips. Thanks so much for streaming with us on this Friday. Attorneys for the suspected gunman in the 2018 Parkland, Florida massacre plans to plead guilty to the school shooting that killed 17 students and faculty at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Nicholas Cruz also pleading guilty today to an assault charge for attacking a guard in jail. A British member of parliament has died after being stabbed multiple times. David Amos was attacked while holding his monthly meet and greet with voters. Police say a 25-year-old man has been arrested, but the motive unknown at this time. Former President Bill Clinton is being treated for a blood infection. His wife Hillary Clinton seen leaving UC Irvine Medical Center in Southern California today. Doctors there stressing that the former president's diagnosis is not related to COVID and not related to his history of heart disease. The first Boeing employee has been indicted for the 737 MAX's failures that led to 2 fatal crashes. The company's former test pilot charged with fraud for allegedly misleading regulators. He's expected to make his first appearance before a judge in Texas today. President Biden taking his agenda on the road, traveling to Hartford, Connecticut to promote his Build Back Better plan. Biden is expected to deliver remarks about the importance of investing in child care today. We'll bring that to you live as soon as it happens. But first, as many as 60,000 film and television production workers are threatening to walk off the job, as 10,000 John Deere workers are already striking right now. Employees demanding higher wages and better benefits, and workers band together around the country taking a stand. Senior national correspondent Terry Moran is there at the picket line.
In the wee hours of Thursday morning, 10,000 workers at John Deere hit the picket lines in Iowa, Illinois, and Kansas on strike for the first time in 35 years at Deere. They're demanding better pay, secure pensions, a fair share of a hugely profitable American company.
The company wants to eliminate pensions altogether for new people, and we refuse to sell people down the road like that.
Sounds like it's about sticking together.
Yes, it's about sticking together now and for the people that come after us.
And about better pay.
Yes, absolutely. The company, their profits have just been through the roof.
Workers argue that even as John Deere's profits grew by 61% in recent years and their CEO's salary grew by 160% during the pandemic, their pay has actually been cut.
We need to let them know that they can't continue to take our money and take our money and take our money.
Women and men here on the picket line, the people who build those iconic green John Deere farm vehicles, they're bracing for a long strike. American workers want more, and they're willing to strike to get it. In Brookwood, Alabama, striking coal miners rally every Wednesday.
Every union in this country owes something to coal miners.
Bolstered by their motto, one day longer.
So I stand by you one day longer, one day stronger.
But those days have turned into months, 7 months now.
We knew it was going to be a struggle and a fight.
Braxton Wright is one of the roughly 1,000 workers who left the coal mines and joined the picket lines after failing to reach a deal with mine owner Warrior Met Coal. Larry Spencer is the union vice president involved in the negotiations.
Did you think that here in October and heading into the fall, you'd still be here, or did you think that it was going to get resolved?
I did think we would get something settled before now, and it just seems to be getting worse. I would like to say this part. They might think they're going to break these people's spirit, but they're not.
Braxton's wife, Hayden, helps run a supply pantry for strike families. And they're already stocking up on Christmas presents. This is the first coal miner strike the town has seen in 4 decades. The miners in Brookwood are demanding an increase in wages and benefits that had been cut back in 2016 when Warrior Met Coal's mine was struggling. Now times are good.
We're not even asking for more. We're asking for close to what we lost 5 years ago.
And Braxton, like so many American workers, feels the significance of this moment.
I believe the labor movement in the United States is growing, but I think a lot of them are watching us because they know if we lose this fight, they're next.
Nationwide, more and more workers are flexing their collective muscles, seeking to rebalance the old equation between bosses and workers. Decades of declining wages for the workers and skyrocketing executive pay.
It's kind of the David and Goliath fight right now.
Last week, 1,400 Kellogg's cereal workers launched strikes in Tennessee, Nebraska, Michigan, and Pennsylvania.
This is a simple matter of fact that the rich want to get richer. And to do that, they take away from the small guys.
In California and Oregon, 24,000 nurses and other healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente voted to authorize a strike over pay and working conditions. And soon, Hollywood may see a walkout. Roughly 60,000 film and TV workers are getting their picket signs ready, set to go on strike on Monday. If it happens, it would be the first nationwide strike in that powerful union's history and could bring Hollywood to a halt.
We have some members in our crafts that are so underpaid that they can't possibly survive in the cities where they provide services.
The workers at John Deere voted overwhelmingly to reject a contract that their own union, the United Auto Workers, had negotiated with management.
There was a pretty blatant attack on our benefits. They want us to pay more for our benefits.
Strikes, which had almost disappeared in America, are back.
We're looking at levels of strike activity that are comparable to the mid-'80s, which no one says is, the heyday of, working class fighting. But on the other hand, it's been decades since we've seen this much activity.
Jonah Furman is a staff writer for Labor Notes. He's been covering every twist and turn of the John Deere negotiations. The deal that workers rejected at John Deere offered a 5% raise in the first year of the contract, not what workers expected from a company that estimates it will make $5.9 billion in profits in 2021.
This is really not a case of the company being squeezed and the workers wanting to, get a bigger piece of the pie. There really is a bigger pie here.
But going out on strike is such a hard decision to make and a risky one.
Unions do not take strikes lightly. It really is a last resort.
Heidi Shearholtz, the chief economist at the Department of Labor during the Obama administration, says companies have long had the upper hand. And over the years, they've successfully lobbied to change the laws in Washington to weaken American unions.
It's scary to walk off the line. One of the things is an employer has right now, under current labor law, the right to hire permanent replacements. And so once the strike is over, if an employer has hired a permanent replacement, what the person who went on strike has to sort of go to the back of the line.
Companies are pushing back publicly against all this strike activity. A Kellogg spokesperson saying their proposals have been, quote, grossly misrepresented by the union.
Being away from work puts our people and their families in a difficult position and can create financial hardships.
And John Deere releasing a statement to ABC News reading in part, John Deere is committed to a favorable outcome for everyone involved and is committed to reach an agreement with the UAW that would put every employee in a better economic position and continue to make them the highest paid employees in the agriculture and construction industries. Our immediate concern is meeting the needs of our customers. And in a statement to ABC News, Warrior Met Coal wrote in part, we remain steadfast in our belief that the 8 proposals given to the union are fair and equitable. Warrior Met Coal provides some of the highest paying jobs in Alabama. But on the growing number of picket lines in Brookwood, in Moline, and across America, it's about more than money. It's about respect.
And thanks so much to our Terry Moran there on the front lines. Now to the fight against coronavirus. The FDA Advisory Committee meeting to discuss Johnson & Johnson booster shots just one day after recommending Moderna boosters for millions of Americans. Our Whit Johnson has more for us.
Today, a key FDA panel is set to review Johnson & Johnson booster shots and discuss the effectiveness of mixing and matching vaccines. This after that same advisory panel voted Thursday to recommend Moderna boosters for millions of Americans.
We do have a unanimous 19 out of 19 yes votes, and that concludes the voting portion.
The group includes anyone 65 and older, 18 and older with underlying health conditions, and those at high risk of exposure to the virus at work. Studies show the Moderna vaccine has remained highly effective against severe illness and hospitalization, but waning slightly when it comes to protecting against those more mild breakthroughs. The company saying its booster will only require a half dose to restore protection.
What we're trying to do is bring your immunity up to the point when you were first vaccinated, and essentially these boosters will do that trick.
The FDA and CDC still need to sign off on Moderna boosters, which could come by late next week. But with 66 million eligible Americans still unvaccinated, battles over vaccine mandates heating up. State officials in Maine warning fired healthcare workers who refuse to get vaccinated won't be eligible for unemployment benefits. And in Chicago, the city preparing to stop pay for police officers who failed to report their vaccination status by today. Officials are also expected to make a decision about the Pfizer vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11 by early November. But the Biden administration is already telling states to begin pre-ordering doses next week to prepare. Kira?
Whit, thank you so much. Well, coming up, we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. When we come back, we are talking tamales. And welcome back. So glad you're with us on this Friday. We're going to take you now on a tasty way to celebrate the end of Hispanic Heritage Month. Tamales are a staple food in many Hispanic American homes, and depending on what country you're from, well, you have your own unique way of making them today. Well, a group of tamale makers is representing their culture now. Take a look at their masa mixture secretos.
A village to make tamales. We used to make an assembly line. My grandma, my tias, big table just full of masa, banana leaves.
And somebody is making beans.
I used to put the fillings.
And then they start to cut it, to wrap it.
Waiting for the next day to eat it.
Before there were tortillas, there were tamales. Los Angeles is a city of tamales. You can find regions of Mexico represented. You can find tamales from Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras. But it's very, very, distinct to each culture.
My name is Maria Irra, and we are in Tamales, Elena, y Antojitos. My parents migrated to the United States when I was 1 year old. As migrants, of course, we have to look how to make income, right? For our children. This was accessible for them. It's amazing to be able to say, that we're Afro-Mexican. We have the privilege to have the African culture there. It's just been entwined into, our food, our way of, how we look, and the way that we talk. We are going to be doing the corn husk tamales. They consist of corn husk, of course, masa, which is made out of nixtamal, and then it's a secret, a family secret, and whatever filling you would like to put in, which our personal favorites will be the pork and red sauce and chicken and green sauce. The corn husk tamales are more traditional to Mexico as a whole. We've never used measurements. Everybody has their special spoon. I know I have my special spoon. I cannot work without that spoon because I know exactly how much and how little of everything's supposed to take. We used to come together and just do tamales as a whole family, and we used to talk about our day, and the smells, it's like penetrated in your DNA. The tamal represents culture, family, union.
The tamal wrapper is unique to each culture in the sense that whatever local products they have, those are the leaves they have to use. So in southern Mexico, you're going to find banana leaves.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Alfonso Martínez y soy de la comunidad de Santo Domingo, Albarradas, la Colula, Oaxaca. Nuestros tamales son muy especiales porque nuestra comida no es algo que puedes encontrar por todos lados. Nosotros como zapotecos Estamos en la Sierra Norte. Los zapotecos estamos en muchas regiones de Oaxaca, así que la comida puede variar o cambia en diferentes regiones, como cambia el zapoteco. Al siguiente día recalentarlo y poner salsa arriba y con café de olla solamente. We use the banana leaf because it's big, right? We use the organic masa, organic beans of course. This is avocado leaves, they call them aguacatillo in Spanish. And this is the thing, when you open the pot with the tamales ready, it smells so good. I work for restaurants few years after work when I'm on the bus, or I saw many different restaurants from this country, another country, and I say, wow, of course we can bring Oaxaca food here in LA.
My name is Wendy Centeno, and I'm the owner of Bichos Trucks and Bichos Pupusería Moderna. My grandma was the first person that taught me how to make tamales since I was little. She taught me how to make it only how she was taught, as well only with banana leaf. We don't use foil, we don't use plastic. It's all pure, natural, organic ingredients pretty much. So I was 22 years old when I moved to United States from my country. So all these flavors that I bring into my cuisine are flavors that I grew up with. I don't want the tradition of our food to get lost. What makes Salvadorian tamales unique, we cook it in banana leaf. Our con masa, it's cooked before we put it inside the tamales. We use a lot of seeds and a lot of dried chiles as well. We cook it through vapor, and that's what makes the masa moist inside the banana leaf, and also the chicken or whatever you decide to put inside. And in the Salvadorian cuisine, we don't use too much spice. Most likely the tamales, you will find it outside the church after the mass. You go outside and the ladies are selling tamales right there. It means a lot to me to be serving and representing Salvadoran cuisine.
Tamales literally have thousands of years of history.
The flavor of the tamales, the smell of the tamales, and even the assembly of the tamales, it reminds everybody of the holidays.
Because it has a lot of hours to make one tamal, about 7-8 hours.
It's just special events.
It's just a recipe that families go and pass it on to their kids and to their grandkids, and basically you're just eating history.
Okay, we are all so hungry now. Thank you so much to our ABC News digital team for that fantastic story. Well, coming up, check this dad out. It is Feel Good Friday, and we're going to talk to him right here. He's cheering on his daughter from the stands. You are going to see why when we come back. There they are, Cheer Dad and his daughter Mackenzie. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now let's see a move. Let's see a jump. See you in a minute. And welcome back. Are you ready for a little Feel Good Friday? This is where we bring you some good news heading into the weekend. And today it's all about an Air Force vet who is his daughter's biggest cheerleader. Literally. Take a look. And that was Super Dad Roland Holland cheering along his cheerleader daughter Mackenzie from the stands at her high school's football game. So Roland recently retired from the Air Force after 24 years. But growing up, Mackenzie always wanted more time while her dad was away. So he got creative when it came to bonding with his kids, including learning all of Mackenzie's cheer routines. Roland and Mackenzie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, now wait a minute. Dad, you've gotten all mellow and calm. A minute ago, you were giving me cheers and you were all excited.
I mean, the photos you guys were showing got me a little emotional because it brought back the memories of, being away from them and stuff like that. So it got me a little cheered up a little bit. But I'll get back to it in a minute. Give me a second.
Oh, Roland, no, that's okay. I thought it was nerves and I didn't realize you were getting emotional. I love it. Okay, well, I'm probably going to take you there again because I want to hear about how this tradition actually began.
It was about 2 years ago when, we were at her games and I would try and mimic her moves. And just to see what kind of reaction I could get. And after a while, I just got frustrated. I said, teach me the moves. And she said, okay. And I said, if this embarrasses you, I won't do it. She's like, no, Dad, let's make it happen. And we've been doing it now this is now the 3rd season we've done it.
I love it. All right, Mackenzie, how did you feel about this when you were younger? Because apparently Dad's been wanting to do this for a while, right? So what was it like when you were younger? But then as you got older, and my guess is you probably saw how cool this was.
So when I first started cheering with Cerritos Green Valley 49ers back in Cerritos Green Valley, Arizona, we would go to competitions at the end of our season, and before we performed, he would dance and embarrass us and just cheer us on. I was like, Dad, stop. This is embarrassing. Just don't do it anymore. And then as I got older, I realized that this was his way of supporting me and just showing that he loved what I did to love myself. So it just really showed.
Oh, Mackenzie, so how would you rate your dad's cheer skills? Because you clearly have some game. Where would you put Dad?
I would put him at a high school varsity cheerleader.
There you go. Okay. Hey, strong enough to lift you guys, right? So you could do your flips and all your moves.
Yeah.
Dad, were you always a good dancer? Were you always this, coordinated?
She says no. I'll say yeah, but you'd have to talk to friends and family. But I always felt like I was. But my kids, being older and they're like, trying to keep up with the new moves. I may not have the coordination that I once had.
Well, you look pretty darn good. So how has being a cheer dad created a bond with you and your daughters, while you were away on your military duties?
So I would say this for Mackenzie, it's, this cheer dad experience, because this happened about 2 years ago when we went viral and got to do some shows, and we're doing it again now. It's been a nice bonding experience because also this is her senior year in high school. So she'll, be moving on to college. And so this is kind of like a nice opportunity to make up for some time. For my youngest daughter, Jamie, who's cheering as well for the local Pop Warner football team. I get to be involved there. I go to all of her games. And then for my middle daughter, Brianna, she's the typical teenager embarrassed by this. So at her softball games, I'm just a normal dad, and I'll cheer her on and, say go team. But you don't see the expressions that you see at the football games or what you were cheering for Mackenzie.
I love it. And Mackenzie, I understand this isn't the first time that Dad has actually gone viral. A couple of years ago, he was at a baseball star at your school, I guess recorded your dad during a different football game, and it went viral. So what do you think? Should your dad become a cheer coach, maybe start a YouTube channel? You could be his agent.
I don't know. Cheer coach? No, because I do that, so it's...
That's her thing.
That's my thing.
Okay.
I think if he were to cheer coach, he would coach dads of whose daughters are on the cheer team. I think that would be a great thing for him.
All right, we'll go with that.
I like that. Yeah. You could have like the cheerleading squad at the high school, and then next to the cheerleading squad, you have the dad squad. Can you imagine? You guys would go viral every single game.
That would be.
Well, I have a feeling. Yeah?
I would say there are some dads that we actually have joked to some dads about that. They're like, nope, you do it. That's all you. We'll sit back and, support you, but you can have it all. So I said, okay. Actually, one dad, Ben Brumbaugh, who gave the video, I'll do the fight song dance. He does the push-ups, and that's how we go with it. That's our deal.
I love it. Yeah, there comes the military boot camp in you. Well, I'll tell you what, as my daughter grows up and my son grows up, I sure hope that this is the type of relationship I have with my teenagers. It is simply beautiful. Roland and Mackenzie, thank you so much for being here. And Roland, we're going to follow you because my guess is you're probably going to do this with your other girls later on.
We'll see. Brianna, no, she said no, but Jamie, you know, she's in 2nd grade right now, so she's got a few more years to high school, so we'll see what happens in a couple years with her.
She asked about it. She wonders why he doesn't do it for her.
Okay, the tradition's going to continue. I have a feeling we're going to be doing another Feel Good Friday in the years to come. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much. You just made our Friday. Appreciate you, and good luck to those Falcons.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, you can find more feel-good stories at goodmorningamerica.com. They're all wonderful. Well, that does it for this hour. I'm Kira Phillips. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'll see you back here at the top of the hour. Meanwhile, stay safe and have a fabulous rest of your day.
I found that coming to Mexico that I had to find my home within me. And it wasn't about a place so much as about finding my sense of belonging, understanding who I am, and becoming complete and finding that home where I belong is in the home in the heart, kind of like House on Mango Street.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.